Are you lazy? Or are you just tired? Know the difference. In today's fast-paced society, there's an ever-present pressure to be productive, busy, and constantly striving for more. This cultural emphasis on ceaseless activity often leads us to view rest and recovery as weaknesses or signs of laziness. As a result, many of us push ourselves relentlessly, ignoring our body's signals for rest, and end up asking ourselves, why am I so lazy? But are we really being lazy, or are we simply exhausted? Understanding the crucial difference between laziness and exhaustion is essential for maintaining both productivity and well-being. The societal pressure to be constantly productive. Our modern society glorifies busyness and non-stop activity. We're bombarded with messages that equate rest with laziness and productivity with virtue. This mindset can lead to overworking and burnout, guilt when taking necessary breaks, misinterpreting exhaustion as laziness, neglecting essential rest and recovery time. It's within this context that we need to examine the true nature of laziness and exhaustion. A tale of two students, John and Mike. To illustrate the difference between laziness and exhaustion, let's consider the stories of two college students, John and Mike. John's story, a case of true laziness. John's typical behavior includes consistently poor academic performance due to lack of studying, no regular exercise routine, absence of personal goals or hobbies, days filled with passive activities like watching TV, aimless internet surfing, and playing video games. On his day off, John's behavior doesn't change. He spends the entire day gaming and watching TV, just as he does every other day. At the end of the day, John labels himself as lazy, and in this case, the label is accurate. Mike's story, exhaustion masquerading as laziness. Mike's regular routine is packed with activities: early morning exercise, hours of dedicated studying, pursuing his passion for DJing, working a part-time job. On his day off, Mike's behavior mirrors John's, a day filled with video games and TV. However, unlike John, this behavior is atypical for Mike. He's simply too tired to engage in his usual productive activities. Despite this, Mike also labels himself as lazy at the end of the day, feeling guilty for not being productive. The deceptive similarity of laziness and exhaustion. From an outside perspective, laziness and exhaustion can look remarkably similar. Both states often result in lack of physical activity, reduced productivity, engagement in passive activities like watching TV or playing video games. This superficial similarity can lead to misdiagnosis, both by others and ourselves. We're quick to judge someone as lazy without knowing their full story, just as we're prone to labeling ourselves as lazy when we're actually exhausted. Defining laziness and exhaustion. To address these states effectively, we need to understand their distinct characteristics. Laziness. Unwillingness to engage in work or effort. Presence of energy, but lack of motivation or self-discipline. Avoidance of activities that require effort, even when well-rested. Often accompanied by procrastination and lack of goals. Exhaustion. Willingness to work, but lack of energy to do so. Presence of motivation and discipline, but depletion of physical or mental resources. Difficulty engaging in usual activities due to fatigue, often accompanied by feelings of burnout, stress, or overwhelm. The dangers of misdiagnosis. Misidentifying our state can lead to counterproductive solutions. Mistaking laziness for exhaustion. This can result in unnecessary rest, prolonging unproductive behavior and potentially leading to feelings of guilt and decreased self-esteem. Mistaking exhaustion for laziness. This is perhaps more dangerous, as it can lead to pushing oneself beyond healthy limits, resulting in burnout, decreased productivity, and potential health issues. Appropriate solutions for each state. Once you've correctly identified your state, you can apply the appropriate solution. For laziness, set small, achievable goals to build momentum. Implement a structured routine. Use accountability measures, e.g., telling a friend about your goals. Break tasks into smaller, less daunting steps. Identify and address underlying causes, e.g., lack of motivation, fear of failure. For exhaustion, prioritize rest and recovery. Implement regular breaks in your routine, e.g., 5 to 10-minute breaks every 45 minutes. Improve sleep habits and ensure adequate sleep duration. Practice stress management techniques, e.g., meditation, deep breathing exercises. Reassess and potentially reduce workload or commitments. The importance of balance. Achieving optimal performance and well-being requires a delicate balance between activity and rest. Here are some strategies to maintain this balance. Regular self-assessment. Periodically check in with yourself to determine if you're being lazy or if you're truly tired. Structured rest. Incorporate planned rest periods into your schedule, treating them as important as your work periods. Productive breaks. During short breaks, engage in activities that refresh you mentally and physically, e.g., short walks, stretching, mindfulness exercises. Gradual progress. If you're coming out of a period of laziness, start with small, manageable tasks to build momentum. Mindful productivity. Focus on the quality of your work rather than just the quantity of time spent working. Listen to your body. Pay attention to signs of fatigue and respond accordingly, rather than pushing through exhaustion. The role of self-compassion. In navigating the balance between activity and rest, it's crucial to practice self-compassion. This involves recognizing that everyone needs rest, and taking breaks doesn't make you lazy. Avoiding harsh self-judgment when you need to take time off. Understanding that productivity fluctuates naturally, and not every day will be highly productive. Celebrating your efforts and progress, not just your achievements. Societal shift. Reframing rest and productivity. On a broader scale, there's a need for a societal shift in how we view rest and productivity. Valuing rest. Recognizing rest as an essential component of sustained productivity, not as a sign of weakness or laziness. Quality over quantity. Focusing on the quality of work produced rather than the number of hours worked. Individualized approaches. Understanding that optimal work-rest balance can vary between individuals and respecting these differences. Holistic view of productivity. Considering long-term sustainability and well-being in our definitions of productivity, not just short-term output. Conclusion. The power of correct diagnosis. Understanding the difference between laziness and exhaustion is crucial for personal well-being and sustained productivity. By correctly identifying our state, we can apply appropriate solutions, avoiding the pitfalls of misdiagnosis. Remember, if you're lazy, the solution is to take action, even in small steps. If you're tired, the solution is to rest and recharge. By balancing activity with rest, listening to our bodies and practicing self-compassion, we can achieve a more sustainable and fulfilling approach to productivity. Don't be too quick to judge yourself or others as lazy. Sometimes, what looks like laziness on the surface is actually the body's cry for much-needed rest. Ultimately, true productivity isn't about constant activity, but about knowing when to push forward and when to step back and recharge. By mastering this balance, we can achieve our goals while maintaining our health and well-being in the long run.